Give me a hell yeah.
Ooh, you know what time it is. Ooh, you know what time it is.
Give me a hell yeah. Ah! Turn the fucking death zone! Turn the fucking death zone! Ah! Turn the fucking death zone! Turn the fucking death zone!
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the thing. So
We are live! Fix the camera. Let's go.
Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, that's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce.
The people want to see a little more of it, Morgan.
Come on out. Hey, do it for Deuce and Mo.
The Kings get it done in overtime. How are we doing on a Monday?
What up, Deuce?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
Oh,
I'm rooting for you.
yes. How about the Kings?
Let's go, Kings.
I don't care how it got done. The
Oh.
Kings needed a win. It wasn't pretty at times, but when it mattered most, De'Aaron Fox turned it on. Trey Lyles with a big overtime. Morgan Reagan.
My God.
And the Kings get the split in Minnesota. Mission accomplished.
You wanted the split? You got the split?
I did.
Oh my gosh, that's all the jacket we get tonight?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just all at the beginning, dude. How we doing? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling much better now.
If you're in the YouTube chat, we appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Let's get that thumbs up big time. Morgan, yeah, a lot to like about tonight's game. It was just it was refreshing to just see them come out of the gates aggressive early, the defensive pressure. They really had one terrible defensive quarter, and it was the second quarter. The effort was there. Ant still kind of did his thing at times. There were still breakdowns. It wasn't perfect. But all things considered, you go on the road and get this road win. Woo!
The split just like you wanted, just like you said, just like you predicted.
I didn't really. I just said you just go do it. I didn't-
The one that you said you would not watch anymore if they didn't get it. You were
Did I say that?
no, but I feel what?
People are upset. I turned the jacket off.
Yeah, you guys. Okay, I wasn't wrong. Like he usually leaves it on longer. That's why I was like, I'm not.
You know what, Morgan, tonight?
Yeah, I'm like, thank you for calling him out because I swear he is like this attack on me today where I'm like, no. You usually wear that jacket.
You gonna bring that up? You know what?
Bring it up.
You're cold.
No.
Come on.
This
You can wear
you
the
guys.
jacket
This is a
tonight.
power trip.
can wear the
This is a power trip.
Here. Are you ready?
What? This is
Oh. How's that feel?
not as
How's that
good
feel?
as it should.
How's it feel?
Not great. It's
Come
not
on,
great.
man. Looks good.
No, you're pulling. You're pulling
Do
something
you
right
want
now.
me to wear it? Like,
You're-
I mean, come on.
He's pulling something. I do.
I'll wear the damn jacket. Give it to me.
Oh, God. Thank you, everyone. He's conserving batteries?
I'm not gonna.
Never for a win.
I bought extra batteries because you're gonna be lighting this thing up. It'd been a while, more. It'd been a couple of games, but the Kings have not lost 3 in a row for a long time now. Other teams in the league losing 3 in a row, left and right, 4 in a row, 5 in a row.
Love it.
Hell, the Pelicans have lost 8 in a row
Bye.
after Zion being out. Right? Hey, Kings are hanging tough. They're 20-21. Hey, last couple games were pretty. They responded tonight.
They did.
They responded in a big way. Could you believe that shot Fox hit over Gobert late?
Oh, my God. Just taking it to him, understanding where he needed to be on the floor, how high arcing that shot. I'll talk about it.
Hey, hit the
talk
thumbs
about
up. Tell the people to hit the thumbs up.
Hey, could you hit the thumbs up for
Why?
Deuce's jacket?
Why, Morgan? Why should they hit the thumbs
They
up?
should hit the they should hit the thumbs up because not for Deuce's own his ego and for just to tell him how much you like him. It's for the algorithms. And what algorithms do. We should have like an algorithm specialist come on telling us why the thumbs up are
It's pretty
important.
simple. Hitting the thumbs up helps the channel grow. Let's keep it growing. Make sure to subscribe too. It goes a long, long way. Let's do a little roll call before we get started.
Please.
I'll leave the light on while I do the roll call. Fine. The Kings won tonight. They go on the road. All of a sudden, they get it going tonight. De'Aaron Fox played big. Sabonis fouled out. At one point, you thought he was ejected. No one knew what the hell was going on. So let's give some love to the people who are here tonight to talk about this game with us. Shout out to Torch and Jay Hurdaway, Mark at Sack. They're always here. Can't forget about Jesse James and Tony Hughes. Big Blue. Wizzo Mac in the building. Appreciate you being here, man. Shiesty 916, Donald James, Scotty C, Nick Bryant. Why not be here? Not KJJK. Boost is in the building with Tuda and Peyton. Crazy Dave and Donald. Don't forget about Daniel and Moshe and Adam and Jason and Peyton. Patrick with CJ. Who else do we have in here? New Horizons, Sato.
Hey.
Ipodicus is in the building who
Yo.
wants me to sing Turn on the Jets. I don't have that in me. Emilio's in the building with Vaughn. Light the Beam Sack Town. Fast Break Podcast is here. Bill Ritchie. Jeff Hardy rules. Casper Bob Jr. 55 with Christian. And Brian J. Shuby and West Sack Kings fan with us this morning at 11 a.m. and back with us tonight.
Hell yeah.
Always smile in the sun. Manny too legit says light the beam. Let's get it going. And Will Z is here dropping stats, hanging out with Hannah, watching the pod. What's popping, man? Appreciate
Hi,
you
guys.
being here. All right.
Over 300 people watching. Let's hit that thumbs up if you love a Kings win.
Hell yeah.
Algorithms. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you all being here. Dude, it's just so much more fun
Yes, it is.
after a win.
All right, let's get started. Do some mo. Come down. 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome in to the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on a Monday night after the Kings get an overtime win in Minnesota. They split against the T-Wolves. They went 118-111. They had to play the late stages of the game without Sabonis, who fouled out, was not available in overtime either. But De'Aaron Fox was big. Final 2:36 of the fourth quarter, he dropped 8 points. How about Trey Lyles? He had 11 points. 8 of those came in the overtime session. And the Kings played some improved defense tonight, some better stretches, and they get a road win, 118-111. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
I'm just so great, so amazing now. Amazing. How about you?
Why are you saying it like that?
I'm just great.
What is that?
I'm super good.
I don't understand.
What do you mean?
There's something weird. There's a weird vibe going on.
There's been a weird vibe all day.
Okay.
We needed this Kings win for like our mental health.
You definitely needed the
You
Kings
did
win
too.
for your mental health. You definitely did. I could tell. We appreciate you guys being here tonight. So much to go over after this Kings win against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Morgan, what's the first thing that jumps out to you about this Kings win against the T-Pups?
I guess really the way that they adjusted. And what I love about that is I feel like that's what we talked about after the game on Saturday. That's what we talked about this morning on our daily show was how are they going to respond? How they respond is really going to be the way that we see this team. It's one of those tests, they only played the T-Wolves for the first time this season on Saturday, and they took what they knew and responded to it, went after Gobert, went into him, and they did not shy away from that.
And that was encouraging to see. And it was encouraging to see a team that allowed well over 50% shooting play a little better defense tonight. I felt like they came out of the gate. Both teams were missing a ton of shots early. I mean, I think it was 6-6 near the halfway point of the first quarter. Shots started to fall a bit. But I thought Sacramento came out of the gate, and it was deflections. It was a little more aggressiveness. Hell, they were even throwing some double teams late in this game on Ant. I'm like, this is encouraging stuff. Rotations were better. I thought Sabonis had some incredible verticality plays at the rim on multiple drives by the T-Wolves, including one on Ant.
I noted that one too.
A lot of good stuff tonight.
Yeah.
The Kings gave up 36 points in the second quarter, their worst one. They were outscored 36-27. But in the first quarter, allowed 17. In the third quarter, 28. In the fourth quarter, 22 points and 8 in the overtime session.
Whew.
So you allow one 30-plus point quarter, a really bad one in the second quarter. You got your shit together and played well down the stretch.
Well, and that was after a first quarter where neither team had scored in like the first 3 whatever minutes. I mean,
Right.
It could have been 2 something, whatever it was. And it wasn't like their defense was just locked in and that's what was stopping them. They were missing some shots. They were missing things. So when they started making things in that second quarter and they got things going again for themselves, it was great that the Kings had a better response in that second half.
Much better response. But coming out of the gate, I think all eyes were kind of on De'Aaron Fox tonight. We talked about how he played in quarters 1 through 3 in that first game against Minnesota. I was like, all right, is he gassed? Is he tired? What's going on with him? And then he explodes for 21 points in that fourth quarter in the loss. And we were both talking about, I was like, hey, can they find a little more balance? Can he come out and be aggressive from the start? He was aggressive from the start. He came out, fire, and missed his first couple of shots, but then had that nasty jam inside on the attack.
Oh, my God.
Fox was marvelous tonight.
He was.
I mean, he got to his spots, and I know it was cocky when he said it. He's like, oh, I feel like I can get any shot possible. Tonight, I was like, I can see it. Like, late in the game, he was taking over again, had that crazy look on Gobert that was in.
What, we keep talking about the leap that he's taken in his game, his mentality, but I even feel like with his feel for the game and understanding of the way that it needs to fall off his fingertips, whether it's 5 feet away from the basket or 10 feet away from the basket, or he's going up at the rim, or he has Rudy Gobert's arm straight up in his face. It doesn't matter where it is. He has such a great feel for where he is on the floor and what shot he's about to take. And the ability to make that right now has just been at such a high level.
It was pretty ridiculous to see some of the shots he made late in the game.
Yeah.
The one over Gobert immediately jumps out to me. I mean, Gobert outstretched arms. Fox got it over with the left-hand floater. It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. And he ends up finishing with 32 points. He had a monster finish to this game, which was super encouraging. They needed a quarter like that from him. He closed well again, especially once Sabonis fouled out.
That step back three, he had to make it 98 under 2 minutes. And even that feel, right? That confidence that he felt in that shot, not only to take it, but to also make it. And you talk about the way that he was going at Gobert and going in the paint. Gobert disrupts everyone's shot in the NBA. He does a fantastic job of it, even if he's not getting a block, right? But the Kings did a much better job of knowing how to go at him aggressively, how to change their speed against him. And it wasn't only Fox doing that late in this game. You know, I think Monk really stepped up with the way that he was driving to the basket.
Monk was great tonight.
Whether he was finishing though, Deuce, and or playmaking, finding an open guy in the corner, especially late, just incredible.
It was a roller coaster ride. He's had some sloppy turnovers, but
oh yes,
I feel like everyone kind of had a stretch tonight, you know, especially when it was a night where they got off to a really slow start. The Kings were 1 of 14 from 3 in the first half of this game, and HB and Herter were almost non-factor shooting tonight. In fact, Herter only plays 21 minutes in this game. He was 1 of 7, 0 for 5 from 3. Barnes plays 40 big minutes, but he was 3 for 11, a 1 for 4 from downtown in this game. It was good to have other guys step up. I thought Terrence Davis came in and gave them a lift, and I think Terrence Davis made a case like, hey, Mike Brown, I'm going to need some more minutes here. Unfortunately, it was sacrificing Davion Mitchell a little bit again tonight, which is another storyline we're going to keep watching as the season goes on because I think he's so impactful defensively for this team. Malik Monk, 19 points for him, 5 assists, and he didn't make a 3. He was 9 of 14. His attacking, he had a huge attack late in this game that was big off a steal. I was like, there's no way he's going to be able to finish that. It was really impressive to see that attack.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of just him and his energy. As Bojack is barking, so I'm going to talk about Malik Monk while Deuce figures it out. But I thought one of my favorite parts was him in overtime. Not only was he confident, his chaotic nature was a little bit more under control. There was a time at the end when 90 seconds left in the game and Malik Monk had that big steal, right? In that moment that he had that big steal, it was, okay, he's getting things done on both ends of the floor. In overtime as well, he found Trey Lyles in the corner on the left side, and then another time he drove it in and found Keegan Murray on the right corner.
Getting those paint touches.
Getting the paint touches. The guys were also hitting these big shots as well, but it was coming off of Malik Monk's energy, and that's truly sometimes what he adds that we don't talk about enough in his bad numbers games or when he's just out there. And I think he does so much to create that he just deserves so much love for that.
Yeah, he was great. He was awesome tonight. He did have 5 turnovers. There were a couple of plays, get a little chaotic at times with him. You never know what to expect with him.
Yeah.
But he was really good overall for the Kings tonight. I think something else we learned from tonight's game, I think Trey Lyles has to be the backup 5 now. We've seen enough. I mean, honestly, like Chimezie Metu struggled again. He comes in, allows 6 quick points on him. Some of it was bad. He had to switch out on guys that he should not be guarding anyway. But then the second stint comes in, Gobert goes right at him. I know that's a challenging matchup. I get that. But I'm looking at some of these centers in the league. I'm going, I think Trey Lyles can hang with these guys. He may not have the height. He may not totally have the athleticism and pop sometimes, but then he surprises you when he jams it on Gobert late in the game for the and one. He could stretch the floor. He's more of a threat, and he can bang a little bit. I think he is the answer for the time being at the backup 5. And in the overtime session, that's who Mike Brown went with. He didn't have Sabonis. He decided, I'm not going to go with Metu here. I'm not going to go with Richaun. I haven't played him. We don't play Alex Len. I'm going with Trey Lyles, and that was an outstanding decision by him.
I'm totally with you. I think the way that he did such a great job of holding his ground when Gobert was trying to post up on him, and then the way that he would rotate over and try and stop other guys when he knew he could depend on someone else to help him out. The communication was there. He's a great anchor you can tell he appreciates like those fundamentals of the game, right? Just really talking it up and having to be that guy. And going back really quick too to Chimezie Metu, when he did come in, there's times when you're like, oh, he can play above the rim. They can like lob it. He can be that lob threat, and he can be exciting and athletic and mobile for this bigger guy. But then it's his decision making. It's the fact that he still doesn't have that discipline after this much time to be like in Mike Brown's system and no, you shouldn't be taking that three just because you're open. Like there's still a different play that could be better on this offensive end, and then being the liability on the defensive end.
Well, they had that sequence in the late third quarter where Kings gave up an open three. There was some miscommunication. There was a breakdown, and Metu thought it was someone else's fault. Either way, he was at the 3-point line boxing out Naz Reid while a player was shooting an open three. I mean, it just, those are the breakdowns that you keep having those mistakes. You find yourself out of the rotation.
Yep.
And this is a team that's in desperate need of finding something at that backup 5 spot. I think Trey Lyles might be the answer here on out for Sacramento.
And I like that in a lot of ways. I like that in a lot of ways because I feel like Mike Brown feels like he can trust him. The way that he can stretch the floor, the way that he can defend what seems to be multiple positions. He's a player that listens, coachable, is a guy that, wants to be out there. So he wants to do the right thing. You see him doing the right thing a lot of the times.
This game got weird late.
Oh,
it got really weird late. Sabonis was in foul trouble in this game, and it got chaotic, right? He picks up his 5th foul. It was an offensive foul. It was 93-92 Sacramento at the time at the 4:50 mark of this quarter. Super questionable call.
Was that the hand in the face one?
No.
Okay, that was the 4th, huh?
I'm not sure exactly when. No, the 4th foul was on a moving screen at 7:48. You're talking about the one that Chris Finch ended up challenging, and they won the challenge?
And they won the challenge, and I believe that's what gave him his...
No, that was in the second quarter. That's
oh, my God.
Yeah, that was...
I'm way off.
Yeah, you're way off. So second quarter, 6:19, Gobert was called for a foul on Sabonis on a drive. It would have been foul number 2. Finch challenges it, which was a smart challenge because it gave Sabonis his 3rd foul at the time.
That's what it was.
And
okay.
Sabonis hit him in the face first. They call that a foul. So that was the challenge that Finch used at the 6:19 mark of the second quarter, which was in some ways like smart. It's like, yeah, you know what? This guy is
Get him
impactful.
out.
Let's force him to make a decision here and go with Metu.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sabonis picks up his 4th foul on the moving screen. That was in the third quarter. He was not happy about that one. It looked a little questionable. Okay, you move on. He picks up his 5th foul again on an illegal screen, and he is furious at this point, right? He is just not happy at all. Like, are you kidding me? And then you have the situation where next play down, he gets absolutely kind of crushed down low. At least it looked like that on TV, but I didn't get another angle. He was not happy. He is hot, super hot.
Charges
and this is
after the ref.
This is bad. 3:57. He picks up a technical. It looks like he picked up another technical, and he got escorted back. He went through the tunnel. Sean Rogers, the security guard, took him back. It looked like he got ejected. Then coming out of the timeout, he's back in the game. We had no idea what was happening because the TV crew was not at the game tonight.
Yeah.
They're not on this road trip. Mark Jones and Katie Christensen were in San Francisco calling the game from a studio, which, that brings on challenges. When you're not at a game, it makes it really challenging to know what's going on because you can't get any type of feedback from the officials. You're not on site. You can't listen. You have no one telling you anything. You're at a studio in San Francisco. So we're all left at home going,
what's happening?
What's happening right now? We don't know. So anyway, Sabonis ends up being back in the game after that wild sequence.
Yeah, that was wild. And at first, I thought when they ejected him on that play, it was super frustrating because all I'm thinking is like, he looked just like Draymond Green in all of his moments of charging after a ref, yelling at them, and not even getting teed up, right? And there's been sometimes that Draymond will get that tee, sure. But because he ended up back on the floor, it was kind of funny that everyone was just like so confused on Twitter, online, and just going, what is happening? Who gives a shit? Sabonis is back on the floor. Play on. Let's go.
Well, he did play on, and then he ends up fouling out of the game a little bit later. which was tough, right? He fouls out with 51 seconds to go. It was a good call. Like, It was unfortunate too because the Kings are up 103-99 here. So frustrating. Push in the back on Gobert. He fouls out, puts Gobert at the free throw line. Gobert makes 1 of 2. So now it's 103-100. I'm sorry. Yeah, 103-100 after the free throw. The Kings don't get a good look. Then one of the worst missed calls you'll see since, I don't know, Saturday night between Boston and LA. Second chance opportunity, third chance opportunity, whatever. McDaniels gets a look at a 3, and he clearly traveled. Absolutely, like, no doubt about it, shuffled the feet before launching the 3, and he makes the 3. We got a tie game.
And an official is right there. And if you watch the replay, the highlight, whatever you want to call it, the official is pointing at his feet because he's pointing at the feet going, like ready to call it a 3-pointer. So he's just looking at where his feet are compared to the line, but not looking at the way that McDaniels is sliding his foot in obvious travel. Let me do this though really quick. Kings defense forcing that travel, forcing him to be confused, and he wanted to swing it to the corner, but then he realized when the guy didn't commit to him and went to the corner, he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Slid his foot, traveled, hit the 3.
You don't want to give up an open 3 in that situation at all, but they were overplaying on Ant for sure.
Yep.
They were worried that he was going to hit some tough shot, right? And they end up giving it to McDaniels, shuffles a feet, or as Stephen Brown says in the chat, the bro river danced before the game tying 3, and the ref watched. They call that travel. Game is over. Kings win. They don't have to go to overtime. Nonetheless, hey, they missed the call. Absolutely dreadful. It's one of those things too. It's like you're not shielded. The guy was open. Like there were fans. There's one fan who was
right there.
A T-Wolves fan's like, hey, ref, that was a travel. Like, they're calling on their own team.
And I know sometimes you get that help from the opposing team, but you had Mike Brown and the rest of the coaching staff and down the bench calling it a travel for the official too. It's like when we were watching that NFC Championship game with the Eagles punter and the ball hit the wire and everyone's pointing up at the wire and it's like the ball hit the wire, right? Like, look how far it went out of bounds. And it's so blatantly obvious, but they're still not going to make the call. It's super frustrating.
Yeah, and those are the things that like fans look at and go, how do you miss it? That could cost a team a game. You have to be better than that.
Yeah. And that's, well, you know what, Deuce? And really quick, let me just say this. I think as a Kings fan too, what becomes so triggering about that is that finally there's something to really feel good about with the Sacramento Kings, and it's real, and they're doing it on their own, and they're controlling what they can control. But when it's something that they can't control and it's taking it away from them, it's traumatizing. It's triggering. I know that all sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. Like, you just go, they didn't shoot themselves in the foot. You're just taking this one away from them. But at least they ended up getting the W in overtime.
I thought the Kings had no chance in overtime.
Whoa.
I mean, Sabonis fouls out with 50 whatever seconds left. You're like, are you kidding me? Like, you have to go to overtime. You're in control. You're up 4. Like, there's no way you should be losing this game or even going to overtime. And I'm thinking bad things. We'll talk about that in a second. I just want to acknowledge all the people watching us live right now. Appreciate you guys all being here late on a Monday night. 500 plus people. I love it. The biggest thing you can do, all you 500 people, is make sure to hit the thumbs up button. That should be, why don't we match it? Why don't we put that at 500? I know people come and go, but seriously, let's get that number up because all it does is help this channel grow. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Like Tribe just subscribed. We're approaching 10,000 subs. That's a huge milestone, and it's thanks to your guys' support. So please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe like Alex did. And Bill, who became a member, shout out to Peyton, who donated $5 saying, you're like Robert Horry when you take the jacket off, Deuce. You're shooting daggers into the hearts of Kings fans. So yeah, you're right. You should just leave the jacket on. Appreciate that.
At all times. At all times.
So you go to overtime and you're wondering, okay, what's going to happen? How are you going to win this game with Sabonis not playing?
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting what Mike Brown did in the overtime session. We kind of hit on it about Trey Lyles' performance. He elects to start Trey Lyles in the overtime session. They go with Fox, Monk, Barnes, Keegan, and Lyles, and it pays dividends in a big way. They start their overtime session. Malik Monk finds Lyles for 3. Next play, he ends up finding Keegan for 3. You mentioned those back-to-back dimes by Malik Monk. And how about Keegan hitting some big shots in this game?
Dude, Keegan Murray not only hitting
huge rebounds.
Yeah, and I will say just my one little knock. There was a time there at the end. I believe it was.
I know what you're talking about. Too passive.
And
He wasn't looking to score.
Dude, he didn't even look square up to even look like a threat. And that's where I'm like, no, I don't care if you knew in your mind already that you weren't going to go. That's fine. If you were scared of the moment, I don't want to like blame being scared of the moment on that. But either way, as a basketball player, to help the rest of your team, you gotta look like a threat in one way or another.
And I think this is sometimes a negative of having a player like Fox who could take over in the fourth quarter, because sometimes players are like, okay, here you go. You always take over, so go do it. And it's like, no, Fox can get his for sure. And we want Fox to go ahead and attack, get the midi, attack the paint, get some good looks, but you still have to be a threat. And when you get the ball and you're immediately looking to passing, not even making any type of move to the basket, looking at the hoop, that doesn't help you. And you can't be that passive. That's my one critique on him. But I thought rebounding the ball tonight, outstanding. 13 rebounds, 6 of those offensive rebounds, Morgan.
Yep, that's exactly where I was going to get to. Kings won the second chance points battle 15-12. So Keegan Murray had a lot to do with that. And when your rookie is getting in there and making those big second chance opportunities happen, like there's the difference in the game. We talk about how many times other teams getting those second chance opportunities on the Kings are so deflating. The Kings had that on Minnesota.
Yeah, it was big time. And you know, we talk so much about what Trey Lyles was able to do. He had the 3. He had that big dunk, the one where he was attacking the. I mean, he attacked so strong. Gobert was there and won, puts the Kings up 112-106. Kyle Anderson slow-mos it. God, I like Kyle Anderson.
He's so slow and it works.
It's a little sloth, and you're just like, what?
Every time. You're not even like exaggerating.
It works. So he scores, then Fox comes down and hits a bucket. Lyles had another jam from Fox, which was the craziest play ever, because I think it was what we were just talking about. Keegan immediately looking to pass, and like Fox has the ball, and you're like, okay, you got to score here. It's 114-111. It's still a 3-point game. You need a bucket here. And out of nowhere, you see Fox fire a pass because there was a defensive breakdown on Minnesota where they just let Lyles go wide open. Fox saw it. Pinpoint pass on the money, and Lyles jammed it home. And that pretty much sealed it for Sacramento.
Beautiful execution by both of them. And those are the moments you love seeing being executed, because those are also sometimes the scariest moments, when a guy is that wide open or when a 3 is that wide open. And for Trey Lyles to come in there and be ready for the big moments, that was great. But also, you just look at the Kings defense and what they were able to do all night long. Not only the second chance opportunities, but a season high 15 steals on the night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stat of the night nominee, 15 steals?
I know. Who had the most steals? I was just going to look, though.
Harrison Barnes had 4.
That's why.
De'Aaron Fox had a couple. And how about, do I want to double check this? Malik Monk with 3 steals.
Dude, well, Harrison Barnes got the defensive player of the game chain.
Yeah.
So, you look at those steals and those big moments for him, and
I wish we had deflections tonight, too, because I thought they were super active.
Yes.
Which was huge. And I just thought, this is the type of team defense that the Kings need to just be locked in all the time. They're not going to be perfect. You're going to have breakdowns. That's okay. But it's getting into guys. It's playing with physicality. It's rebounding the basketball. I thought they did a great job tonight. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and as Sabonis ends up fouling out, but he's dealing with a lot of stuff out there, especially when guys are getting blown by or he's trying to recover or whatever.
Yeah.
He had a lot of great defensive plays at the rim tonight. Let's see if he was even credited. Let's see. Oh, he had 2 blocks tonight. He had 2 blocks tonight, but he changed a few other shots, and I thought that was significant for the Kings.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, just like you said, the impact that he made in the game. So for Minnesota to really attempt to find any way to get him out of the game was a smart game plan. And hey, you look at the Kings game plan and how the T-Wolves defend teams in the fast break. It's not the best. So what do you need to do? You need to get those deflections. You need to get those steals. You need to get the ball out quick. And the Kings just did a much better job of that, responding, adjusting their game to just really doing their homework and doing what they need to do against the T-Wolves.
I'm looking at the box score to double check. Okay, Sabonis. Okay, one technical, Sabonis. The T-Wolves lead the NBA in technicals. They had 3 tonight. Noel had one, Anderson had one, and Naz Reid had one in the fourth. We want to play that Sabonis went aggressive on that drive, lowered the shoulder. Reid was out of position. Sabonis draws the foul. It was a great aggressive take by Sabonis. Naz Reid ends up getting the technical. My question for you, why does Kevin Huerter shoot technicals?
I don't know. I don't know.
He just hasn't been a good free throw shooter this year. And I think sometimes coaches are always like, I want to get him going or whatever.
Win
At
the
this
game.
point, when it's a close game,
Win it.
No. Who's the best free throw shooter on the floor? Keegan? Go shoot the free. Whoever it is, go shoot the free throw. That was another story in this game. The Kings were 15 of 22 from the free throw line. Minnesota tonight, 13 of 25. And the good news, Gobert got to the free throw line 10 times.
Wow.
That's great news because he was 5 of 10 in this game from the free throw line. I think we should also reference, we keep talking about, the Kings steals or what they do defensively. Ant tonight, he did have 33 points. The streak continues for him, averaging like 34 over the last 6. He is outrageous. He hit some shots in this game tonight. He definitely had a couple of wide open ones off defensive breakdowns by the Kings. He had a dunk that was a defensive breakdown. He also had some tough shots that you're like, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
No.
He just looked like one of those guys that is on the precipice of being a star. He looks really special. So he ends up 14 of 27 tonight. He was 4 of 11 from 3, just 1 of 4 from the free throw line. He also had 6 turnovers in this game. So I know, he did score. I thought the Kings were much more engage with him defensively.
Yeah.
Try to do their best. Great players are going to find ways to get buckets. He still did, but he did force some mistakes. And they did a great job on Russell. Russell was not good at all. He was 4 of 16, 2 of 10 from 3 in this game, and 0 for 3 at the free throw line.
Yeah. Love to see all those numbers go way down for D'Angelo Russell. But Deuce, you and I talked about it today too. And we were saying how let Anthony Edwards beat you. Don't let him, but he's going to, give him what you got. Do not let the other guys beat you on the team. And that's what happened last time. Naz Reid last game, obviously Noel still had a pretty good game off the bench.
Dude, he had a stretch where I'm like, is this serious? This guy is killing the Kings.
Yeah, but at least they, tone that down a little bit. Rudy Gobert is also going to still have a pretty big game, being their second best player and everything. But you look at the rest of the squad and you kept them, you toned them down, right? You tried, you had a different type of defensive effort tonight, and it actually worked. It went well.
And in some ways, I feel like you want Gobert to have a game where he scores 19. If he's scoring and he's going to the line, he's getting all the touches instead of, Russell or
it's just
Edwards
a different game.
Or other guys who could knock down shots. It was a good response by the Kings. So they're now 28 and 21. It's significant too because you don't want to lose a season series against Minnesota. You're now at 1-1. That's big. You get a road win. That's good. Oh, also this team is trying to chase you down in the Western Conference, and they had been playing some really good basketball. So you need to find a way to win. I think the most exciting thing for me about this win tonight for the Kings, the defense for sure, but winning an overtime game without Sabonis on the floor, that's big time shit.
On the road.
That's big time shit.
On the road. Yeah. No, it totally is. I think sometimes we overlook those moments because our expectations have become higher and higher for this team. But you guys, it's all those learning moments that are so big for the individuals on this squad. Even for TD to come in early and to show up and to be energized and to be there at the end and have a big 3 as well. All of those moments matter because it means what Mike Brown and his coaching staff is doing is actually working. You have seen guys on other teams be pissed off, sulking, not be able to just buy in and or be efficient in those minutes in that time that they do get. But you see, for the most part with the Sacramento Kings, when he goes down the bench, when he goes down the lines, guy stays ready.
Shout out to Will Z, who just threw us this stat. He said the Kings had 10 deflections tonight. He said, I kind of was surprised because I was expecting that number to be higher. So 10 deflections. Kings end up with 15 steals. They also did a good job taking care of the ball on their own. They had 12 turnovers tonight, only turned into 9 points. Minnesota had 18 turnovers that turned into 21 points. It was also refreshing to see a team not shoot 50% against the Kings. Minnesota ends up shooting 46% against the Kings. And the Kings did win the rebounding advantage 50-49 by 1. How about points in the paint tonight? 68 points in the paint for the Kings.
Love it.
To 50.
Yeah, they kept, I mean, each quarter I was marking down the points in the paint, and they were always ahead on the T-Wolves. They just did a better job of executing that part of the game. It was just a lot of things they did well tonight for the mistakes that were being made, you know, whether it was Malik Monk's chaotic plays or if it was even Keegan.
How
not
do you
being
rein
a
that
threat.
in a little bit? Is that just who he is? Like, I just feel like there's sometimes you're like, he's just so out of control, but then he'll make a play. You're like, okay, this is why you have him out there.
I forget where it was. I think it was in, It was the start of the fourth, and Monk had a bad pass into Sabonis, who was trying to get down low. It was a turnover. But later on in that fourth quarter too, you know, Monk has a big steal in a breakaway layup, making it 103-99. You know, he just would have these moments that even if it wasn't the direct possession after, that he would make up for a lot of his mistakes.
Anything else jump out to you about tonight? And by the way, chat, are we missing anything? Is there anything else that we're missing? Hit us up in the chat. Appreciate everyone being here live. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Let's get that to 300, please. Also, threw this out to them.
Yeah.
As you think about if there's anything else you missed.
Yeah.
Who was your dog of the game?
What's your choices?
De'Aaron Fox with 32.
Oof.
Malik Monk, 19 points, 5 dimes. We should also mention those couple of steals he had. Trey Lyles, who had 8 points in overtime. Or Keegan Murray, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds.
De'Aaron Fox is like the dog of the game almost every game. I got to give this to Trey Lyles because just being able to step up there at the end when
You're right.
Your big fella is out and he comes in and he's ready to dominate on a 7-footer. He's like, bring it. Let's go. I'll hold my ground. And he did that.
That was critical.
Yeah.
It was critical because I thought they were going to have to go back to Metu in that situation. He had a tough night. So the fact that they were able to go to Lyles and then he hits a 3, has a dunk, has that other big-time dunk to seal it for the Kings, huge, huge tonight. The fans are saying De'Aaron Fox with 32 points. 48% of people saying Fox. Trey Lyles at 23%. Malik Monk, 17%. And Keegan Murray, 11%.
Yeah, and Keegan Murray, I love what he was doing on the boards. Sometimes I think we do forget that he is a rookie, and I appreciate where he's going to go from here. God, I needed this win. I needed this win.
Well, let's hear some Mike Brown. I'm curious what he had to say about this Kings win tonight in Minnesota. What do you think he's going to say? Defense, we did a much better job. Engage, Trey Lyles. What are your...
Yeah, all those, yes.
Okay, all right, let's hear it from Mike Brown in just a second after this Kings win in Minnesota.
Defensively came out. That first quarter was probably our best. I know we held somebody, I think, to 8 or 10 points before, but just in terms of doing everything at a high level, challenging shots, being physical without fouling, all that. It was probably our best defensive quarter of the year, if not our best for sure. Top 2, maybe top 3. So really good job coming out and setting the tone the right way. We had a little slippage in the second quarter. we were okay in the third quarter. Our fourth quarter was really good again. And then overtime, we were really good, especially when we decided to go small and Trey had to guard Rudy. Got a lot of contributions from up and down the lineup. HB, he was fantastic defensively. He had 4 steals, another 5 or 6 deflections.
Wow.
Keegan was huge with a double-double, 13 and 13. It was just big minutes for us. Domas with a double-double, he was huge for us as well. Foxy, his pace, I'm going to back it up. Defensively, he was big time. He set the tone as the head of the snake at the beginning of the game, and he was really good throughout most of the game. Offensively, his pace and him being in attack mode was a lot of fun. Both he and Domas have to be that way for us because they're our all-stars, especially on the road and in tight ball games. Malik was huge. He was big for us. He created a lot of opportunities for a lot of people, including himself. And then Trey. Trey's ability to come off the bench and know what he has to do playing the center spot, fighting on the glass. He picked up a foul trying to go for a rebound. He blew up one of Rudy Gobert's duck-ins. And just his presence offensively caused them some problems and got us great looks. And he just knocked down shots. He was huge in that overtime for us. And then lastly, I'd like to say that TD, I got to take my hat off to TD. I don't know when the last time he played was, but he's, just like Rich and other guys in the past, TD's kept himself ready, and he was big for us, especially when we couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. I thought we would have had a decent lead if we shot the ball halfway decent. We had some great looks from the three-point line in the first half. It just didn't go in. Our defense kept us in it, and then the second half we go 8 for 16 from the three-point line, which helped us a ton. So great team win on the road against a really good team.
You mentioned Trey. He had a good box out on the first defensive possession in overtime and drew a foul on the offensive fouls on top of what he did offensively. Just curious, do you ever think about giving him more of a role as a backup 5 maybe going forward?
We've talked about it, and it's something that we have in our back pocket. We've done it before. Obviously not. I don't think we did it this long. Maybe, I can't even remember how long we did it, but we've done it at least one other time before, if not 2 other times. I have made a minute sheet with him sliding to the 5, getting some minutes. And it's something that we definitely can take a look at from time to time going forward. But, the reality of it is Mezzi's playing well, and same with Richaun. Those guys have played well for us when they've gotten minutes at the 5. So it'd be feel a game.
And with your season high in steals, just what led to those steals specifically? I know you talked about wanting to make them feel you after Saturday's game. Did they feel you?
I thought our ability to be engaged defensively, meaning we're up and we're trying to make our offensive player feel us, and that doesn't mean just go push him, but get up in his chest, especially when he catches the ball or when the ball's going to him. Who knows? He may fumble it, and now that's where the steal may come up. As he's driving the ball, show your hands, but chest him. And if you chest him, it's not a foul. And there are guys in this league when they get chest, they happen to lose the ball. Be in a great position on the weak side, shrink the floor, and if you're in the right position, maybe you might get your hand on the ball and you can still close out to your man. And so those are. And again, I don't know. I wasn't just. I wasn't saying all that because we got a lot of steals, but based on doing those things as consistently as we can for as close to 48 minutes as we can tonight, it generated a lot of steals. It wasn't like we did anything special. We just did what we were supposed to do a little bit harder, and we embraced it a little bit more.
So there is Mike Brown after this Kings win.
Couple things.
Yes.
Before we get to what he had to say about Trey Lyles being a backup 5, I thought one of the things that he said in the beginning about going after Rudy Gobert, you had mentioned on Saturday night after that game, you were broke down the game and you were talking about how they got to get into him. They got to get into him. And we saw that tonight, and Mike Brown even saying that just being a big difference maker in tonight's game as well. It was that much more noticeable. And I just love that they're all that coachable. They listened and they executed the plan. Anything off of that? Otherwise, get straight to it with what he had to say about Trey Lyles.
Yeah, and he says something that they're looking at, and he referenced, Chimezi's play great, but and I don't know if he's just trying to be nice to those guys. I think Metu has moments where he can get you a dunk. He does some nice things, but I think for him, it has been decision-making sometimes. When he's at his best, he's playing in control, he's rotating well on defensively, the communication's there. I just think he's not really big enough to deal with some of these fives, especially a guy like Gobert. He's not athletic enough, in my opinion, to deal with some of these fours, depending on who he's going up against. Just kind of a weird tweener. Additionally, I just think the three-point shooting, I know he hasn't taken as many this year, but coming into tonight, he's shooting 21% from three. He had an open look tonight. He didn't hesitate to launch it because he was open. He was open because Gobert said, I'm not coming out to defend it. I think there have been too many defensive breakdowns with him, and I think when you are trying to improve this team defensively, you got to maybe look elsewhere. And I'll give him credit. That one play where there was frustration and they take out the iPad, which you don't see often. They're taking out the iPad to show these guys, like, here's the breakdown. This can't happen. Next play, he comes back in. He's playing much more aggressive. He had a strip on Ant, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
He did a nice job. But I just think it hasn't been consistent enough. Obviously, the Kings are searching at that 5 spot. I think Trey Lyles makes more sense. I think he does all of the things that Metu does well, so does Trey Lyles, but Trey Lyles can also shoot. He may not pop as much athletically, but then again, I'm watching him like he just jams it home a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would go with Trey Lyles.
Yeah, and it's no knock on Chimezie Metu and his development and his growth, because there's been times this season that's like, holy shit, why isn't Metu playing more, And we've seen those moments. But then when we see his down moments and when he is a liability, those are the frustrating times. Those are the times when, even as someone who is consuming so much Kings basketball, you're going, why him first? Especially when we've seen at times Mike Brown doesn't care about rewarding guys for doing good things necessarily when they have a great game and then they don't see a minute the next game. That's just who he is as a coach, and that's fine. So with Metu, sometimes I'm surprised, like, what is it about him that he sees that maybe I don't? But yeah, when it comes to Trey Lyles, I was pretty shocked that was his answer.
Yeah. And then defensively, we talked about with the steals. You just talked about it's simple. Like, we're just getting more into guys, playing with more physicality, just playing how we're supposed to play. So appreciate everyone being here, by the way. We got a ton of people watching us live.
Guys.
Make sure to hit the thumbs up button. All it does is help our channel grow. I know I say it all the time. I just have to remind you guys, because it literally, all it does is help more and more people see what we do on this channel. And that's good. I just love building this community. Let's keep it rolling. I did want to play something. I want to get some more post game, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Do you want to hear from Malik Monk? Actually, let's go with. Want to go what?
As you go to Keegan,
yeah.
Really quick too. Our guy Chris Biederman is there on this road trip, obviously covering the Kings, and he was asking Keegan about Trey Lyles, and he started talking. He's like, Trey Lance. And
Trey Lyles. I totally heard that. It was hilarious because Chris has covered the Niners for so long.
Yes.
He immediately he's like, yeah. So Trey Lance, Keegan Murray, talk about what the hell happened with the ejection, non-ejection with Domas.
How much confusion was there with the Sabonis ejection and then not ejection?
Yeah, I mean, everyone thought he was gone. I think he thought he was gone. I thought he was gone, but, we had people in the back that told our security to come get him, so he came back, and I thought he kept his composure really well, so that helped our team. You see Keegan get upset at one point tonight?
No.
When he went through the steal, I think, and then they called him out of bounds, he said something to the official, but it was the most tame thing. Like, you got that wrong.
You couldn't hear him.
He also talked about Trey Lyles' impact.
Trey Lance, Trey Lyles give you guys in overtime, and could he potentially? Do you see him maybe being more of a backup 5 for you guys down the road?
Yeah, I mean, he showed that he can compete and be prepared to play against some of the best centers in the league. Rudy's a really good center, really strong, really physical, and Trey was able to match his physicality. So I think that just adds another element to our offense. I feel like we'll definitely look at that lineup for sure.
That's Coach Keegan saying they're going to look at that lineup for sure. So if Keegan says it, Coach, like, what are you going to do?
I love the way he broke it down.
I agree
too.
with Coach Keegan.
I know.
I agree.
He's like, hey, we got to really look at that. You know, he's really proving a point out there that he deserves to play. So I like it.
And after the game, De'Aaron Fox talked about the defense down the stretch for Sacramento in this game.
Mentioned the defense. You guys set a season high in steals. What specifically was it about your defense that led to all those steals?
I mean, coming into the game, this is one of the higher turnover teams, so we just wanted to be able to get in passing lanes, get deflections, and it's not even necessarily trying to turn a team over. It's really just trying to be disruptive. You know, if we get a deflection, it turns into a steal, you know, great. But if we're getting deflections, ball going out of bounds, they got to reset their offense. That's basically all you want to do. You just want to be able to be disruptive.
Yeah, and that's what they were tonight.
They much better job. And I mean, how many times do you hear coaches say, yeah, and all that takes is a little bit of effort. Yeah, all that takes is a little bit of homework and effort and just executing it, just doing it. And they did that tonight. Yeah.
What are you laughing at? Morgan looks at the screen and sees Coach Nick waiting to come on with us. Do we go to him now? You want to go to him now?
Yeah, and then I want to get to some of the rumors.
We need to get to some rumors. We need to get the people in the chat, too. Appreciate everyone watching us live, but, you know, the chat wants him. The chat demands him. He is Coach Nick. What do you want, Nick?
What's up, dude, Sam? My voice is better now.
Yes, it is. You sounded really bad the other day, and now it sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
It does. It does. You know what else sounds good?
What?
A Kings win.
Why not light the beam? Hey, can you put the fighter laser thing on?
Okay, hold on.
Arm the laser.
Arming the laser! Begin laser ignition!
Fire the laser!
Hey, let's go. We got to say this. Why not light the beam? Why not light the beam? Why not light the beam?
Why not light the beam, Nick? Why not?
What do you like about the win, man?
Hey, going to overtime and looking at playing 5 more minutes of basketball. Why not play for 5 more minutes of basketball?
Nick, I know you're a defensive coach. You know, you always preach defense. Did you like the Kings' defense in this game tonight?
Yes, I did. And, you know, they did pretty good tonight. But, you know, I did see Sabonis. He was getting upset, getting mad because he got a technical foul because they missed a call on him.
Yeah.
And the refs are going to start getting fined if they don't start calling.
Oh.
You're right, Nick. You start finding those officials. What are they doing?
They're not calling fouls.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Anything else before we move on, Nick?
I do want to ask,
Yeah?
why did Katie and Mark Jones did not go on the road to Minnesota?
Yeah, I think it was just a schedule thing. I don't have total clarity on why logistically. I think with Mark's schedule, because he does so many games, this stretch he needed to be in town if he was calling the game. So I think that's why they went that route.
So are they going to go on the road playing? Are they going to go to San Antonio then?
No, I don't think their TV will not be traveling on this road trip.
So they'll be in San Francisco.
Yes, they will be in San Francisco. You're asking the good questions, though, Nick. I appreciate it. Do you want them on the road?
Yes, I do, because it's better to see them on the road.
Okay,
All right.
fair. That's fair.
We'll let them know.
We will let them know. All right, sleep dreams, Nick.
Hey, why not? How about it's called Sleep Beams?
Sleep beams,
Nick.
And if I was coach in the locker room, if we play San Antonio that day, if I was in the locker room, I need to tell my team, stay on your man. Play defense.
Play defense, just like you did tonight. Sleep
Guard
beams.
him. Guard you guys. Guard you guys. Don't let our play shoot over you.
Sleep beams, Nick.
Sleep beams.
That was actually one of the better Nick calls in a while, man.
Oh, hell yeah. And they let me say, no, I'm not done. And if I was coach, I would obviously have to tell them, stay on your man, play defense. Sleep beams.
Oh, my God.
The
dude.
best. Simply the best. We know. And look,
Hey, after Kings win, it is definitely sleep beams, man.
I love how everyone pops for Nick. You guys
Morgan?
are awesome. Yes. Oh.
It's time for some NBA trade rumors. The return of TMZ. Morgan Reagan tonight. Mark Stein with something new in his Substack. I
Love
encourage everyone to subscribe because then you get little nuggets that maybe you don't get elsewhere. I'm going to show this one and encourage you guys to subscribe. He has something about Sacramento. We have not seen a lot of trade rumors regarding the Sacramento Kings, but tonight at this hour, could the Kings be interested in Mattise? Yeah, Sacramento is said to be monitoring the availability of Philadelphia's Mattise Thybulle as the Kings unexpectedly holding the West number 3 seed after a league record 16 consecutive seasons out of the playoffs. Ponder the pursuit of a more defensive-minded option on the perimeter. One source with knowledge of the Kings' thinking, meanwhile, insists that rival teams hoping for Richaun Holmes to become a buyout candidate if Sacramento can't trade him are poised to be disappointed. A buyout would be complicated for both sides with 2 years and nearly $25 million left on Richaun Holmes' contract after this season. That is not a surprise. We talked about that. It made no sense. But
yeah.
Morgan, your reaction to Mark Stein's report that the Kings could have some interest in Mattise Thybulle?
I'm cool with it. I like it. I think if you were to go look at his stats right now, he's having one of his worst shooting years from 3. But he's also playing half the minutes that he was playing than last year, right? You got some different guys who have stepped up and who are obviously seeing the floor more than him. But what he adds with his defense, I think sometimes is not even given enough love in Philly with Doc Rivers, to be honest. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be situational for him and he does better somewhere else.
Well, he's a 2-time NBA all-defensive second team member. He did that in 21 and 22. Obviously, offense is the question mark, right? Like, KZ Okpala is someone that I think the Kings were like, hey, let's take a swing on him. He can be a good defensive player. I see potential in him. He's been foul prone at times, but you also see the flashes, and he has been really a non-factor offensively for the Kings. You know, we saw that last game where he missed that 3, missed that runner, and, jumps out at you because he doesn't get many opportunities. Thybulle this season with the Sixers, Morgan, last season he played 25 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
He is playing 12 minutes a night this season, 2.5 points a game. I mean, it's so tough to even give the shooting percentages because it's so limited. But 42% on 2.3 shots a game, 31% from 3 on 1.3 makes, and 62% from the free throw line. Not a lot of attempts there. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that a guy who's on the all-defensive team the last 2 years doesn't really play much for this team, although it feels like he's been playing a little more recently for the Sixers. I'm going to look at his last few games, and maybe that's a little showcase thing.
Yeah.
I guess it's not that much more. It just felt like more. I felt like against the Kings, he played a lot. No, he played 13 minutes. So this month, he's playing about 13 minutes a night. And
yeah, it's not a lot. But you look at how someone like Mike Brown plays around with his rotations and his roster. And there's guys that aren't playing that could see minutes on a different team. Is this like one of those situations? Well, I think from his resume alone and what we've seen from Thybulle over his career, like there's something there. There's value there, especially in a long, bigger defender and someone hopefully that could just add just enough on the offensive end.
what would it cost is the question. I mean, you see some of the rumors going on right now. It's like, yeah, Plumlee, Hornets want 1 first-round pick.
God.
Alex Caruso, 2. So what would Daryl Morey be charging his old buddy for a guy who makes 4.3 this year and has a qualifying offer headed into the offseason at $6.2 million? So that's the question, is like, what would you give up for someone like him?
You guys, it would need to be cheap because don't they want to try and re-sign James Harden or
Yeah, I mean maybe. So what? But is he just gonna? You gonna trade Alex Len in the second round pick? I don't know what they're trying to command for someone like him.
Right. It's it should be interesting to see. Look what happened with Rui Hachimura, right? I think that was someone who you could have gotten more from personally than Kendrick Nunn in 2 second rounders for Rui Hachimura. So is it going to be one of those type of situations where the Sixers are trying to make space, make moves, just kind of clean up a little bit, and so he's trading with someone that he knows? I don't know, but hopefully.
Lee's saying maybe Barnes is expiring contract. That just doesn't. I mean, Thybulle only makes like $4 million. Barnes makes 18. So the deal would have to be a lot bigger than that for something like that. As far as Thybulle, yeah, I mean, it just again, I don't know what it would cost to do it, but yeah, I'm willing to take a chance on that because can the guy cut? Can he lay the ball in?
There you go.
I don't need Thybulle to go out. I'm not looking for him to score buckets for me. Okay,
You got that.
Now, does it make it challenging when a team's like, we don't have to guard this guy from the perimeter? Yeah, I can a little bit, but maybe you put him in lineups that have more shooting around and what he can do defensively as a steals guy, getting the guys a little bit. I think that can help you. The guy, again, made the all-defensive team the last 2 years. For the Sacramento Kings, that would be a huge upgrade for them on the perimeter.
Yeah, and that's where you hope your offense gets created, right? Just like you saw a lot from tonight in the fast break, from deflections, from just being active in those passing lanes. Can he be the guy that gets things started with this team that plays with a lot of pace? I like the rumor.
If you're in Twitter Spaces, you can request to talk with us, like people in Discord. Also, love to the Twitch and YouTube crowd. Appreciate you being here. What is up, Dash?
What's up, y'all?
How you doing, man?
Man, doing pretty well. You know, Kings win.
Are
just
you
chilling out?
Are you rubbing your hands together as you talk?
I am. I'm that excited.
I could tell. I could hear it in the background. Yeah, it sounds like sandpaper. You got to put some lotion on those hands.
Damn. Okay.
Is it?
I love it. He's like,
It was a joke.
thanks.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
What's going on, Dash?
Well, game was pretty fun. I thought that TD was kind of the difference maker in the game. Honestly, I kind of compare it to the Delhi coming in against Charlotte, kind of like boost up. Like he really had a really good energy off the bench. And I
Comparing
feel like
it to Delhi coming in.
Exactly.
When's the most minutes Delhi's played this year? How about you compare it to another time TD came in and made an impact?
Okay, let me think. Maybe against the Pacers.
Dude,
You'll say they asked the Pacers.
Hey, I think I love what TD provided. Actually, I wanted to look that up because Mike Brown mentioned that in his press conference. He goes, I don't know the last time I played him. And it's been a minute for Terrence Davis. And you don't really count this like when he plays like 3 minutes in a blowout, right?
No.
The last time he got extended in minutes in a game was against Houston on January 13th when he played 31 minutes. Against Houston, he played 23. Besides that, he hasn't really played. In fact, this month, he's averaging just 10 minutes a game in the games he has actually played.
Yeah, and Kevin, not the best game, so I feel like we definitely needed that shooting.
Yeah, no... And TD also hit a couple of big shots, too. His 2 big threes I thought were crucial.
Agreed.
Kevin was missing some great looks tonight. And I think that's the other thing I like about this game tonight is like you are not making shots. So how do you win a game? How do you win? You play some defense. You get in the guys. You find other ways. You attack the paint. Don't just settle. And I love the fact that Kevin still shot the ball. I didn't feel like he was forcing it. He missed a corner 3. Sabonis got him on a dribble handoff for 3 that it's a shot he's made a lot this year. He had an off game. These games are going to happen throughout the course of an 82-game season. And for Terrence to come in and provide a lift for this team, I loved it. I think my one criticism of Brown, he played him like 3 minutes in the first half. It's like, wait, I thought he played all right. Get him back in the game. He ended up playing much more in that second half.
Absolutely. And also defensively, like he's a little better than Herder because he actually gets up into the guys, is more quicker, more laterally. So
Herter does some good things from a team defensive perspective. He gets beat sometimes. He's longer.
He's a high IQ guy that will get those deflections, get his hands in the passing lane. And I think what TD does a great job of is like really being energetic in more intense into guys.
Yes.
Yeah, and that can also be contagious when you need that spark off the bench. And that's exactly what he's added when he's come in.
Exactly. And, Herter with that length definitely like gives us a different, option defensively because, 6'7" shooting guard, like pretty good size, right? But with him, he's like what, 6'5", right?
Herter? He's like 6'7".
No, TD.
Yes, I'd say he's more like 6'4".
Yeah, so definitely, a lot more on-ball pressure as opposed to Herter with that team health defense. So, yeah, definitely good to see TD back. He's one of my favorite players.
Aww.
Yeah, I think they need to find ways to get him more run. And that's what's so tough. We talked about this year is when they brought him back. And it's like, well, they signed Monk. They have Herter. They've got Mitchell. Like, someone's going to be the odd man out. I think tonight it was a little bit of Davion. I know Herter didn't play a lot down the stretch, but Davion ends up playing tonight 12 minutes. And it's crazy because I feel like Davion comes out there and he's defending everyone. My biggest fear, I know this is a different topic for big picture stuff with the Kings.
What's the biggest fear?
I am convinced that Davion is going to end up going to a different team
and
being a starting point guard and hitting big shots and playing some awesome defense.
I mean, that's what people have a fear about so many players that they trade, that they get rid of. I mean, it's situational, right? And if he were to get that opportunity with more minutes, that could absolutely be it. And that it just means sometimes that this system or this roster wasn't meant to be for him, and you'd want him to flourish because he's such a good guy too. Look at Kevin Herter, you guys. Like, he wasn't going to flourish with Trae Young having the ball in his hands in that offense. It just wasn't going to work, and he's just not tonight, but he's doing much better here in Sacramento.
Yeah, and we saw Mitchell end last season, right, against like the Rockets and Spurs really excel in that, number one point guard role. So,
well, I appreciate you checking in, Dash.
One more thing I want to ask real quick.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Richaun Holmes? Because if you want Lyles to be a backup 5, what happens with him?
I mean, he's not playing. You know what I mean? Like, I have pretty much just been like, this coaching staff is not playing him.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a really good game when Sabonis was out against the Lakers in that road win in LA.
He was the reason.
He was one of the big reasons they won the game. And then he doesn't play. So I'm working under the assumption that he's not in the rotation and they have no plans to use him. I mean, they ain't use him tonight.
And
they haven't been using him.
It makes me sad from the point of view that I really like him as a person. And I think his game can be fun. Obviously, he has his flaws. But at the same time, he's another guy that can be utilized the right way on a team and can produce.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Well, thanks for checking in, my man.
Thanks, Dash.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
All right, see ya. Dude, this is pretty dope. How about DK, who just tweeted us this? Made his own beam for his house.
That's so cool. I've seen a lot more purple lights
gimmick.
around town.
That's a good gimmick.
It is. I like it. That's dope. Good job.
Let's get to the super chat. Shout out to Wendy Matthews, who donated $5.
Give me a hell yeah.
Thank you, Wendy.
Shout out to Light the Beam, who followed us on Twitch. Same with Fancy Booty, who followed us on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the thumbs up too. And shout out to Kyle, who donated $2 saying Jordan Ora to the Kings in a 3-team trade rumor. Yeah, I did see, I was listening to D'Lo and Casey today after our show ended.
Yeah.
And they had James Ham on, and I was reading the chat, and someone in their chat, I think someone here actually mentioned it, Beam Team in the chat was like, hey, Ham, I heard a rumor, Jordan Ora, maybe to Sacramento.
What'd Ham say?
Ham said he had not heard that one, but he had heard someone else, but he wouldn't reveal it.
Oh, come on, Ham.
Classic Ham.
Yeah, you're such a little shit.
That's Beam Team. Beam Team says that was him. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Ora, who he's not playing a ton of minutes in Milwaukee. Doesn't doesn't shoot well. I think it's more of another guy, a defensive guy that maybe you would take a chance on. Not like some huge impactful move. I believe he played in the Nigerian national team too, so there's that tie-in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a yes. And yes, people out there who think it's a thing. We still do listen to D-Lo and KC because they're friends. So
Well, and
I love their show.
They're good, and we enjoy good content
Yes.
around. Which, by the way, King's Film Room also you saw online.
They're on Patreon now.
Yeah,
I
so
subscribed today.
Speaking of good content, if you guys are looking for some good Kings content, sign up for that.
Let's check in next with Mega Lou is in the building.
Hey guys,
What's
how's
up?
it going?
How you doing?
I think I thought of a good question, but it might be really stupid.
Oh, no,
and you guys
no.
talk so much that you might have already thought of it yourselves. But I'm wondering, like, if you could add one really specific skill at this trade deadline, like offensive rebounding or blocks or better closeouts, not like perimeter defense, but like specifically better closeouts. What would you add?
Damn, because right when you said that, I started writing down perimeter defense, and right when I finished writing perimeter defense, you said not perimeter defense, so I can't use
She
that.
wants specific.
Well, is perimeter defense like a singular catch-all stat? Are there, like, I feel like there's like 3 people who are tremendous perimeter defenders in the entire league.
Yeah.
But there's people who are great at closing out. There's people who are great at, like Mattise Thybulle is a good example of somebody who's really great at like chase down blocks, right?
Yeah.
Like he defends well from behind the shooter, which is a really unique kind of skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what this roster needs, so I'm just throwing it out there.
No, it's interesting, and I don't even think because we're getting that specific, I don't think it's like being like, oh, the number one thing the roster needs, because when you get that specific, we can name like 4 things, right? And it goes along with the perimeter defense. But if we're gonna go a little bit away from like solid fundamental closeouts or something, let's even say it's like having a shot blocker. Now, when I say that, there's so many shots contested, there are so many shots that are disrupted in the paint that I'm like, I'm satisfied with it. But if you're going to make me add something, I'll be like, yeah, a few more shots being blocked with just, it doesn't even mean a rim protector, because the rim is being protected with the impact that guys are making in the paint. But like a few more blocks would just, I guess, be nice. What are you?
That's interesting. I don't know. We get so, I think as fans, we get so obsessed. We gotta have a shot blocker.
But that's why I'm saying.
No, I know you're not saying
yeah.
that. I'm just saying, like, perimeter containment is pretty important. All right, so your
Very
guys,
important.
Putting some pressure on the ball. Being able to communicate effectively defensively would be significant.
And they do communicate well, and mostly that goes to Sabonis being that anchor in the middle. So I would say, I guess if I had to add another one, the closeouts have been quite annoying.
Your specific skill is finding someone that
That's
can
what
close
Megaloo
out.
wants.
Yeah, no, I like it.
I'm giving Megaloo what Megaloo wants.
Well, Megaloo, I like that. I'm gonna have to give that more thought. I'm trying to think of a specific one. That's a tough one. I appreciate you checking in.
Wow, I'm shocked that I would have thought that yours just right away off the top of your head would have been like the closeout.
Yeah.
And again, this isn't life or death. Like you have to pick one and everything.
Oh, it feels like life or death. I have to pick something.
And that's,
in the chat, Scout Recycler. So Stars are playing way too many minutes. TD and Holmes should be getting minutes. Nobody they get in a trade is going to bring more unless you give up a major piece. Yeah, I mean, I want them to lean on the bench a little bit more. It's hard to look at the minute distribution tonight. It's an overtime game, so he plays 5 extra minutes. I don't know how different that would be. I'd have to really dive into the quarter-by-quarter minute breakdown. TD got 16 minutes off the bench. Monk, if I could read, did he play 31 minutes tonight?
Wow.
16 from Lyles, 11 from Chimeze Metu. Yeah, I think you could find minutes for TD.
You know what? I'm okay with this team this year with the minutes distribution in the sense of your stars playing a shit ton of minutes, and mostly for the reason we always talk about how important NBA minutes are. And you can be in practice, you can play against your own teammates and, work on certain things that you're trying to get better at. But you're not going to actually grow from it unless you're experiencing those NBA minutes. And that's why De'Aaron Fox having to push through these big moments, whether it's playing an entire fourth quarter or playing into overtime and being gassed, I think is important this season. Now, you get into next season and you're like, oh, we can grow on top of hopefully this postseason appearance that we have this season. And how we grow off of that, we really need to make sure that his minutes are under control toward the end of the season. That's when I would start to worry. But right now I'm like, tire their legs out. Let's go. Just get there.
Just get the win no matter what.
I mean, get there and then make it sustainable as you move forward with making roster adjustments.
Yeah, I just think you do have to trust your bench a little more too. Like Terrence Davis had a good first few minutes of the game. When he got in there, you don't have to wait to put him back in. Get him some more touches. And my thought is like, does that mean are we not going to see Terrence Davis for another 2 weeks?
Someone else was making that joke on Twitter earlier, and
he was a plus. He was a plus. I know it's a one game thing with plus minus. You got to be careful. He was a plus 16. He had 8 points, 2 rebounds, a steal, an assist. He was 2 of 4 from downtown. So he had one layup that he blew. That was like, come on, CD, how do you miss that one, man?
It happens.
It happens. What is up, Jamie? Welcome into Night Chat. Jamie. What's up, Jamie?
Guys.
Hey, what's up, man?
Nothing much. How you guys doing?
Good after that win. How about you?
Really good.
What was your favorite part?
Overtime.
What about it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Who is that?
It's my dad.
Your dad does your dad know that you're on a live podcast after a
I'm on
game?
Houston Road right now, Dad.
Nice.
Thank you. Okay. And did he say sorry?
He said that I have to finish it up and go to bed.
Excuse me?
You tell your dad. No, I'm kidding.
My dad said what's up.
No. Now he's trying to take it back. Now he's trying to backtrack you.
He didn't know that I was on.
Okay.
See, that's
trying to have my guy Jamie's back. Jamie, also, when you call in to talk about the game, and we appreciate it, but when Morgan's like, hey, what was your favorite part? You give her a one-word answer. We expect some in-depth breakdowns from you, Jamie, not just overtime. Now it's like we're trying, I feel like your parent. I'm trying to ask you, hey, how was school today? You're like, good. What do you do?
Test.
No, I mean, nothing.
Math test.
So what did you like about the game?
Well, I liked how we came out in overtime, and I liked how we came away with those good turnovers at the end.
Yes.
I like it. Okay.
I like that monk takeaway where like I think someone passed it like down the court and then he like kind of like had a pass deflection up like a football play and then Keegan Murray caught it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all whispering now.
I
We gotta
love
be quiet.
it.
They're
I
sleeping
love
over there. It's a
it.
Monday night. All right, Jamie. Well, you go to bed so you don't get in trouble, okay?
All right.
All right.
Bye, Jamie.
All right, there's Jamie.
Bye.
I love it. He showed up after that.
He did.
I totally felt like his parent first, though. I was like, how was school today, sweetie?
Overtime.
But, like, what was your favorite part about it?
Fox.
I don't want to talk about it, Mom.
They won. Leave me alone.
I love that his dad, too. Like, did he apologize?
Brian in the chat said, it's a school night, you know? He's been a good dad. Yeah, it's a school night. He's learning from Professor Deuce and Mo. All right?
Ruckus says, I'm on Deuce and Mo, Dad. Clip that.
Oh, that is great.
That's so cool.
Lawrence, the great question
Ooh.
about, like, you know, what you can do with needs. Why don't we just stretch Domas and add 2 inches to his wingspan?
Oh, genius. Just stretch him out as a human being. That's good. Or you can get that surgery that we were talking about where you can add to their legs.
Yeah, that's gross. It grosses me out. Surgery? Do you understand how surgery grosses me out?
I know it does. That's so interesting to me.
It is a really gross thing.
No, it's actually really scientific and cool.
I'm not saying, don't try to paint me as some anti-science whack job, okay? I'm a pro-science guy, okay? Don't try to pin this on me. All I'm saying is just the thought, like people who go watch those shows, they're on like TLC watching.
I pass out watching.
Yeah.
I
like,
can't watch.
Hey, in the ER, it's like, no, I'm good, man. Like if I ever need surgery on anything, I don't want, don't tell me how you're doing it. Are we fixing it? You're knocking me out, right? Like
I have photos.
I don't care
of my shoulder.
You talking about it's gross.
It's just the inside of the shoulder. It's just a rubber knot.
That's. I don't know why. It gives me anxiety thinking about it. Don't touch me.
Okay.
Don't touch me. Oh, Santo, why would you say that? Says the thought of hair implants make me gag. Yeah, I know. That's gross.
You guys.
What is up, Heath?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good. What's up, man?
Such a pleasure to talk to you guys, as always.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say congratulations on the radio show, by the way, before we get into
what did he more
in-depth analysis.
Wait, Heath, I got to tell you, Deuce does this every time.
What did he call it?
So he wants people to not call it a radio show.
Thank you.
It is an audio platform,
No.
a multimedia
No.
platform. Oh,
No.
what is it? What is it?
It's a show that happens to be on YouTube, the radio, and on an app. If you call it a radio, I'm not doing a radio show. This is not 1980, hey, radio show only. No, we are on live on YouTube. You son of a...
But hey.
So is it more of like a multimedia extravaganza? Or like, I would really like to know the title.
He wants you to just know it's a show.
I don't appreciate his sarcasm.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I don't.
I definitely appreciate it.
I don't.
He literally did this today. Someone called in and was like, "Hey, congratulations on the radio show." And Deuce just like lost his shit. It was funny though. It's all in fun. But no, seriously, our goal is to really expand it that everything's more than radio now, in that, we're just trying to be everywhere. But I seriously appreciate the love, Heath. And thank you so much for calling into this show too. So what's on your mind about the Kings?
I was just calling to reflect on the last call in. We kind of did a January analysis talking about how Harrison Barnes was going to do well. And it was important how the Kings turned out in January. And I think both those things kind of came true. So now moving into February, what are we looking for as far as Kings fans go? And that could be trades. That could be many things.
Well, I think first up, trade deadline. You only play like 3 home games this month, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? Also, I wanted to look up this now that you bring it up. What was the Kings' record in January officially? Has it been updated tonight? I don't know. Did they play 15 games this month? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
It was a big month. I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You're asking me about the month of January, and you don't know. So now I have to look it up
your
a lot.
job.
Yeah.
This is your job.
All right,
Yeah,
1,
it's your
2,
job.
3, 4,
You're quick at
5,
this usually. He's counting, Heath. And
you guys can call me Clint, by the way.
I'm calling you Heath. So the Kings were in the month of January. They were 9-6. Okay, let's see how they.
You're welcome.
So in the month of January, they were 9-6, and during the month of January, the Kings ranked number 1 in offensive rating.
wow.
And number 16 in defensive rating.
Okay.
A bit
Are you sure you
surprising.
got that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Is that surprising to you?
16th in defensive rating. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. So were other teams just that shitty, or did the Kings?
Okay.
Really.
I mean, that's a very average. I mean, it's encouraging because it's the Kings, but that's middle of the pack pretty much.
Absolutely. There's been some losses that I haven't been impressed with their defense. That I'm just saying it's.
In the month of January, Fox led him in scoring with 25 points on 50% shooting, only 30% from 3, 6.5 assists, 3.5 rebounds. HB, the second leading scorer in the month of January, 19 points on 49% shooting, 49.5% from 3. Sabonis averaged 18 points. He averaged 12 and a half rebounds, 8 assists this month. That's pretty crazy.
Wow.
And shout out to Keegan with 14 points a game on 51%, 49.5% from 3. Also, whoa, Keegan, 6 rebounds this month.
Ooh, okay, Keeks. You like that, Clint?
Keegan finding his footing.
Yeah.
Keegan finding his footing.
No, so those are encouraging numbers for the month. And yeah, there are some games that you wish they would have, closed out. The Atlanta, the Lakers game at home definitely pop out. But looking at this month, it's like finish this road trip the right way. You've got San Antonio, not a good team. The Pacers still without Halliburton at the moment. Not good without him. They barely win games without Tyrese Halliburton in the lineup. Then you play a Pelicans team. They've lost 8 in a row now. The injuries have really hurt them. Then you play Houston twice. Take care of business on the rest of this road trip. I wanted a 5-2 trip. Then you come back home. You play Dallas a couple of times. So it's going to be an interesting month. You play a lot more Western Conference opponents, some teams that you haven't faced. This is going to be the first matchup against Dallas coming up this month. Ooh. You got a couple at OKC that all of a sudden look like big matchups. You got the Lakers, you got Phoenix, you got Portland. So now it's a good test to see what this team does. The trade deadline is February 9th. We'll see what it looks like. And this next week's going to be interesting.
So this is noob question. When does the All-Star break fall? Is it after that?
Yeah, it's after the deadline. The final game before the All-Star break is February 14th against the Suns, and then they next play on the 23rd against the Blazers. I'm so glad I could look up the schedule for you. I know it's rather challenging to go and Google.
It's really hard for
King's
me.
schedule.
My iPad is super heavy.
His
these
iPad's
days.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
and I have to press ESPN and standings.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
You're okay.
I can't
Clint.
believe I just put up with all that. All right, Clint. Thanks for checking in, man.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, I thought I saw Praneel for a second.
I know. Our guy Praneel was in here and then he left.
Oh, Praneel.
Yeah.
We're going to have him on the daily show. Like, he's going to have to step out of math class and just, come on and...
Oh, trust me. And now he's back. Praneel. He knows hoops. 16 years old. Praneel, what's up, my man?
What's up? How you guys doing?
We're good. It's been a minute, man. We get to the end of January. The Kings are... That's the other thing. As we're at the end of January now.
Yeah.
The Kings are 28-21. How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel extremely happy and excited for what's to come, man. I mean, I see this upcoming stretch. You get the Rockets twice in a row. You get a battered Pelicans team. You get the Spurs. I'm thinking 5 in a row, potentially.
Oh, my God.
And
Praneel, you're so positive. I mean, not to say that you're not usually, but what gives you that much confidence now? And here's why. You look at that first game against Minnesota, and then you look at that second game against Minnesota. What makes you think that they can just continue to look like that second game against Minnesota tonight?
I think the big thing is that the teams that we're playing are pretty meh. I mean, this Pacers, I don't know when Halliburton comes back. I hope he's back by then. I really like watching Halliburton play, but if he's not, that should be a win. The Pelicans are pretty injured. Rockets are injured. And not just the injuries and the bad schedule and the easy teams we're playing. I also want to say that we are playing more as a team on defense. This game really stood out to me because we came back from that pretty ugly game against the first game, right? The first game, D'Lo hit a bunch of shots. Edwards hit a bunch of shots. This game, we really clamped down on D'Lo. And I own fantasy. I own D'Lo on fantasy. And it was kind of tough seeing that him just lose points from missed field goals. But you know what? We did play really good defense on D'Lo this time. He had, let me check. He had I think it was, he had 10 points on pretty bad efficiency, if I remember. I think
4 of 16. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And it was I remember seeing Fox on him a couple times, Herter, Malik. It was a team effort too. And it wasn't just one guy, it wasn't just Davion just going in there and clamping him. It was a team effort. And we played really good team defense. It was good switchability. The small ball lineup was pretty good. I was talking with Dave in chat, and we were talking about how the Kings going smaller has been pretty good when it comes to the defenses. We're able to switch more. We're able to, get faster. And that really helps when going up against teams like, Minnesota, who have multiple ball handlers. Edwards can handle the ball. D'Lo can handle the ball. And Kyle Anderson, who I've talked about like a ton in the chat in Discord, that he's been a catalyst for this resurgence.
Yes, he has.
And his ability to handle the ball, we were able to bottle that up a bit. And you even see Austin Rivers a little bit and Jalen Noel here and there. But yeah, they have guys that can handle the ball, and we were able to switch onto those guys and shut down pretty much everyone that's not named Anthony Edwards. And that's been great. That was good.
Yeah, I really like how when they do go small ball too, like you're saying, they're still able to defend guys, mostly because even if they don't have all the length in the world, they have a lot of strength, right? They have some strong guys. Harrison Barnes out there, who's still very mobile, great with deflections. And then obviously Trey Lyles, we saw what he was capable of doing down low against a 7-footer with just his strength. And I think sometimes that encourages me, but at the same time, when I look at certain matchups throughout the league, I go, okay, well, it's not sustainable, right?
Yeah. I also think that Trey Lyles changed the game when he came in with Domas getting thrown out. I was listening to the Timberwolves broadcast tonight, and then they were talking about how they have to switch it up with Trey, and then Gobert's normally always in drop when it comes with how he plays defense, how they sort of run their system. Gobert's consistently in the paint playing drop, and with Domas that sort of worked because Domas batters inside, and then Trey Lyles on the other hand is more mobile. He can get out and play along the perimeter. We ran more 5-out in overtime because Trey Lyles can, step out, hit the three. And Gobert didn't want to step out. Gobert stepped out once, he got blown by it and dunked on.
Yeah.
The second time
that was
he
a huge
didn't
move.
step out. Yeah, and the second time he did step out, and then Trey hit a three in his face. And Trey Lyles, I really do like the idea of him being the backup 5 because he's really good there. Yeah.
I completely agree. I mean, I think that's the other thing. Metu has not shown the ability in his NBA career to knock down the three.
Yeah.
It just hasn't happened. He's gotten the looks. Last year, he had the ultimate freedom in that Kings offense. Launch him every time you touch it. This year, he's not shooting nearly as many, which has been good, but it's at like a 21% clip coming into tonight. On his career, he's right around a 30% three-point shooter. He had it on the perimeter tonight. Gobert did not even come out to try to contest it. He did with Lyles. And as Praneel just mentioned, Lyles made him pay for it, jammed it on his head. So, yeah, I like that idea too. And you mentioned Nova Halliburton potentially. That's crazy because the Kings haven't seen Halliburton this year, right, Morgan?
You're an idiot.
What?
You are. I already. Praneel, he's talking shit.
I don't remember him in that game. I just don't.
You're such.
He was in that game.
You're a shit talker.
No.
You ain't funny. You ain't funny.
What are you doing?
You're such a D.
I'm just confused. I don't remember seeing him. I just don't remember anything impactful.
Praneel, I can't with him. Yeah.
Knowing Tyrese is going to hear this and be like, hey, screw you, dude. I'm kidding, Tyrese. I'm kidding. Now he's going to drop 40 on the Kings and you're going to.
Yeah. Like that's what you're putting out into the universe. We don't want that either.
Oh, man. He's been, honestly, though. That Pacers team has fallen apart without him. Like I think they have one win since he's been out.
Yeah, no, it's insane to see the impact that he's made on that team. And he's like the center whisperer, right? Making everyone get paid. Miles Turner getting paid after working with him, but yeah.
Hey Praneel, good checking in with you, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Also, one more thing.
Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels hit the game like the tying 3, and I was so happy.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know this, but
were you happy?
Yes, I was, Deuce, because I am the world's biggest Jaden McDaniels fan, and he's been awesome for the Timberwolves. And it was really happy seeing him hit the 3. I mean, I wanted us to win, so it was like a bittersweet moment, but it was happy seeing him hit the 3. Shout out Jaden McDaniels, that's my guy.
Shout out Jaden McDaniels for traveling on that play and the officials not calling it. Is that what you wanted
to
say?
You know what? That was a weird call. I want to see the 2-minute report, but that did not look like a travel.
No, you are smarter than that. You are smarter than that, and you know that was a travel in 50 states. You know it.
I will not slander Jaden McDaniels.
Go back. You don't have to slander him. You could slander the refs, though.
You know what? Yeah, the refs have been pretty blind, and I mean, at least they're not going to tweet out saying they're going to have sleepless nights because we're the Sacramento Kings and not the LA Lakers.
Yeah.
Sadly,
McDaniels made the shot, and good for him. But you're right. You go slander the officials, okay?
I wonder if we lost, if they would have tweeted out, "Oh my God," and apologize. I think we needed Fox to fall to the ground and act like he like his role just ended or something. If we really wanted them to tweet it out.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right, Praneel. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Yeah. See ya.
See ya,
Bye-bye.
man. He's the best. Yeah. The officials, I think, their NBA Referees Association, whoever's in charge of that Twitter account, probably regrets sending that tweet.
Yeah.
There's nothing good that came from it, unfortunately.
We all thought it was a joke, right? I thought, oh, this is like a parody account. This is with the blue check mark, whatever it is. And then I saw Kevin O'Connor retweeted, and then I saw someone else retweet, and I was like, oh no.
No, it's not a joke.
This is real. Sleepless nights after LeBron throws a little pissy fit. Come on. We're sleepless here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Sleepless.
Shout out to Tina, a Kings fan, who donates $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Tina. Talk about why they don't play Richaun Holmes.
Aww.
What am I missing with him? I legit don't understand. I don't know that she actually said it in that tone. I shouldn't have read it like that. Typical me.
Thanks, Tina.
Yeah, I think start of the year, he struggled with the motion offense. He talked about overthinking things. Not super comfortable with dribble handoffs. He's much more of a pick and roll guy, and it doesn't seem like the Kings were running a lot of pick and rolls, at least initially when he played. And I think the bigger issue is, I think defensively there were some mistakes, and I think he just lost trust. I felt like Brown elected to go with Metu. Metu had some good moments. Then he went away from him. So I still maintain that I think Richaun is a better player than he has played within the last year. Morgan's made the point that he had a really strong connection with Tyrese Halliburton with pick and rolls, and it just seems like he hasn't found that same rhythm. And you're right. Sometimes it is. It's like you just need a new situation. Go somewhere where you can thrive and be put in a better spot. I think the Kings, I've said it before, I just don't believe that he's a guy that should be getting DNPs. I think he can still help you in minutes, and give him the chance to go out there, especially after the Lakers game. That he got the defensive player of the game chain that night. He was rewarded for playing a great game. They won the game, and then you didn't see him. So it's like, I just give him some time.
It's not necessarily his fault that he's not playing, right? I mean, you look at what's before him, and then you look at coaching staff that just doesn't, either whether they don't trust him, they don't like him in the motion offense, whatever it is, they like him. Richaun Holmes is a good person. That people enjoy being around him. So it's not going to be anything like that. But it's got to be frustrating. I'm just really proud of people like him and TD always staying ready down on the bench. And, their opportunity will come even if it's not here in Sacramento.
Dave posts this in the YouTube chat from Nate in the Discord chat. When Terrence Davis plays more than 20 minutes, he is 18 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, I'm guessing, 2.4 assists on 53% shooting, 46% from three, hasn't missed a free throw, and 1.6 steals. And the Kings are 4-1, with the only loss being game one against Portland.
Ooh.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think Mike's really hard on TD. If he has a defensive breakdown, it's like, you're done.
Yep. And some players, coaches just have that relationship with, those biases with. It sucks. Sometimes that reputation is never going to leave you. And sometimes just a situation or a coach, a teammate, it's whatever it is, going to make you better and make you, I don't know, elevate your game to a different level. And that will be the situation you're meant to be in.
Big time Kings win.
Yeah. Really happy.
We're going to be live again following the Kings' next game when they play the Spurs on Wednesday night. But we do want to encourage you guys, if you're at the office tomorrow or just Monday through Friday, you just want to throw us on in the background, just do it. We're on Sacktown Sports every day, Monday through Friday, I should say, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time. We stream it live on the YouTube page there at youtube.com/SacktownSports1140. give that page a follow, subscribe there, and we'll be live there. You can also listen to us on the radio if you're driving around on 11:40 a.m. in Sacramento. We're going to be talking a lot of NBA tomorrow, a lot of Kings. So make sure you roll through, hang out with us.
Yeah, we're having fun trying to grow that page as well. And it's like, it's the same fun show that we get to do
just
here.
With stupid commercial breaks every once in a while, but we stay live on the YouTube feed. So we just keep it rolling. So it's a show. It's a show. Don't call it a radio.
It's a daily
it's a show. A daily show that airs on the radio, also on an app that you could take on the go and on YouTube. All right?
Join us. But thank you for joining us tonight, too. This was fun.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up on the way out. Let's get the 400 thumbs up. We love you guys so much, but we gots to go.
You all have a wonderful rest of your night.
See ya! Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.